Hello everyone, and welcome back to Learn English with Stories. Today, I am going to tell you a simple but meaningful story about change, patience, and believing in yourself. Please listen carefully, and try to imagine the story in your mind while I am speaking. Let's begin. Michael was 30 years old, and he lived in a quiet city near the sea, where the days were calm and almost always the same. He worked in a small office in the center of the city, and every morning he took the same bus, sat in the same seat, and looked at the same buildings through the window. His life was not bad, but it was not exciting either, and deep inside he often felt that something was missing. Every evening, after work, Michael went home, prepared a simple dinner, watched television for a few hours, and then went to bed feeling tired but not satisfied. He sometimes asked himself why he felt unhappy, because he had a stable job, a small apartment, and enough money to live comfortably. However, comfort did not make him feel alive. One Sunday morning, while he was walking near the sea, he noticed an old man sitting on a bench and looking at the horizon for a long time without moving. Michael felt curious, so he decided to sit next to him and enjoy the quiet view of the water and the sky. After a few minutes, the old man turned to him and said, "Do you ever feel like you are waiting for your real life to begin?" The question surprised Michael, because it was exactly what he had been thinking about for months. He smiled slightly and answered, "Yes, I feel like that almost every day." The old man nodded slowly and said, "Many people wait for something big to change their lives, but most of the time, change begins with something very small." Michael did not fully understand what the old man meant, but the words stayed in his mind during the entire day. The next morning, when his alarm rang at 7 o'clock, he felt the same usual tiredness, but he remembered the old man's words about small changes. Instead of staying in bed for another 20 minutes like he always did, he decided to stand up immediately and open the window to let fresh air into the room. The cool morning air made him feel awake, and for the first time in many months, he noticed the sound of birds singing outside. It was not a big change, but it felt different. That evening, instead of watching television for 3 hours, Michael chose to read 10 pages of a book that he had bought a long time ago but never opened. At first, it was difficult for him to concentrate, because he was used to looking at screens all the time, but after a few minutes, he began to enjoy the quiet focus of reading. During the next few days, he continued making small changes, such as walking for 20 minutes after work instead of going directly home, and drinking more water instead of sugary drinks. None of these actions were dramatic, and no one around him noticed anything special, but inside he slowly began to feel more in control of his life. After 2 weeks, Michael realized that he had more energy in the morning and that he was thinking more clearly during the day. He even started smiling more often, which surprised his co-workers, who were used to seeing him serious and silent. One afternoon, while working on a simple task at the office, he had an idea for a small personal project that he had always wanted to try but had never believed he could do. In the past, he would have ignored the idea and told himself that he was too busy or not talented enough, but this time he decided to write it down and think about it seriously. Every evening, he spent 30 minutes working on that small project, learning slowly and making mistakes without judging himself too harshly. Progress was slow, and sometimes he felt frustrated, but he reminded himself that small actions repeated every day could create real change. Months passed, and although his life from the outside looked almost the same, his inner world was completely different. He felt stronger, more confident, and more hopeful about the future, not because something extraordinary had happened, but because he had changed his daily habits. One day, he returned to the same bench near the sea where he had met the old man, hoping to see him again and say thank you. The bench was empty, and the sea looked calm and endless under the afternoon sun. Michael sat down, looked at the horizon, and realized that he was no longer waiting for his real life to begin. He understood that his life had already begun the moment he decided to take small, simple actions every day. He smiled quietly, feeling proud of the person he was becoming, and grateful for the simple lesson that had changed everything. Sometimes, the most important transformations do not come from big events, but from small decisions that we choose to repeat again and again. If you feel that something is missing in your life, do not wait for a miracle or a perfect moment. Start with one small change today, and allow time to do the rest. This is the end of the story. Now, let's review some important vocabulary from the story. Horizon. The horizon is the line where the sky meets the sea or the land. It is what you see far away in the distance. Satisfied. Satisfied means feeling happy or content with what you have done or what you have. If you are not satisfied, you feel that something is missing. Curious. Curious means wanting to know or learn something. When you feel curious, you want to understand more. Concentrate. To concentrate means to focus your attention on something. When you read a book carefully, you concentrate on the words. Habit. A habit is something you do regularly, often every day. Good habits can improve your life. Confident. Confident means believing in yourself and your abilities. When you are confident, you trust yourself. Grateful. Grateful means feeling thankful for something. When you feel grateful, you appreciate what you have. Transformation. Transformation means a big change over time. It is when something becomes very different in a positive way. Decision. A decision is a choice that you make. Every small decision can change your future. Remember, improving your English is also a habit. Listen every day. Learn a few new words. Be patient with yourself. Step by step, your English will improve. Now, before you leave, I have a small exercise for you. This will help you improve your English. Please listen carefully. Exercise number 1. Write 3 new words from this story in the comments. Then, write one simple sentence with each word. For example, I feel grateful for my family. Exercise number 2. Answer this question in the comments. What small habit can you start this week to improve your life? Write your answer in simple English. Do not worry about mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning. If you want to improve, you must practice. And writing in the comments is practice. I read your comments, and I am proud of your progress. See you in the next story.